So today we're going to be joined by the DanceWEAR shop again, and yeah, check out my upgrade, you guys. Like today I was going to put on a little bit of makeup, and then I ended up doing full makeup and even sparkly lipstick, and then I went proper extra and went with a sequin backdrop. How funny is that? And the light's a little bit weird even though I've got my light. It's a pink overdose. Anyways, today we're going to be joined by the dance shop with Brooke again for a second instalment. And I believe we'll also be joined by the owner of the dance shop as well. I can't remember, oh my god, I've forgotten her name. Is it Alaina? Anyway, we'll find out in a moment because we're about to go live with them. Welcome everyone. Remember, you can ask questions. This one's going to be quite spontaneous tonight, even though Brooke's got a lot of notes and whatever. So there'll be plenty to talk about as always. So anyways, oh, thank you. I totally forgot. I never remember people's names that well. Anyway, you'll be able to tell us now because I'm about to pop you up. One moment. It's awful.
Hi!
Hi! I'm just going to put my earphone in. Hang on.
I'm loving your background.
It's beautiful. Isn't it extra?
We're jealous. I'm like, yeah. This is not on the same level. No.
I was like, hey, let's go a bit extra. Let's go the extra mile tonight, hey? And you know what? Even my lipstick, I got it here. Look, it's a bright pink, sparkly. Got a match.
Like a Barbie fantasy, like dream world.
How do I pronounce your name? Is it Alaina?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Cool. So you guys, tonight we've got Brooke and Alaina. Alaina is the owner of the dance shop. And do you just want to introduce your shop again for the viewers that might not have watched the last one?
Hopefully we won't have to do too much restating of our 2-hour stream that we did. We'll try not to go off on tangents tonight, right, Leanne?
Sure.
Try to stay on track. Maybe we can stick it to an hour stream. So my name is Brooke. This is Alaina. She is my friend, colleague, and now my boss. She and her mom, Susan, own the DanceWEAR shop back in January. They took over. They took over in the middle of January from the previous owners, Heather and Cal, which everyone knows Heather and Cal here in town. They're the original owners of this store. So I'm glad they finally got to retire. They've been wanting to retire for a long time. Waiting to find the right people to hand the business over because it is truly a family business. So I'm glad that it got to kind of stay within our family. Literally, like one of our staff, you know. Yeah. I was working here for 2 years. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh, that's really cool.
And now what's great is that because Alaina was also learning to fit point shoes under me and Heather, so now I've got not just myself, and now that Heather has been able to retire. And that's not just on my shoulders to do every fitting, because not every, as staff, we're not here 24 hours a day. Sometimes I'm not here.
Yeah.
So now we have Alaina, and then we also have Juliana. Yes. Yeah. And Elizabeth. So we have 4 fitters in the store now, which I'm super happy that we all kind of get to collaborate together and help one another, and because everyone has a different way.
I was about to say this actually. Do you find much differences between yourselves? Like when you watch each other, can you find any kind of, everyone's got a style to fit in, I think.
Yeah.
I've mostly adapted your style. I would always watch you from the side. I was like, can I get you something? Like, get you this. You're a runner for the shoes. So I think like exactly how you were fitting. And I've honestly kind of copied your style.
I'm flattered. I think that and it depends on your personality and the dancer's personality that you're working with too. You kind of have to adapt to who you're fitting. And everyone has their preferences of, sometimes there's preferences of shoes, but we try not to be biased here because you really can't. It's not fair to the girl. It's not fair to your store to be biased on one shoe or a brand of sorts. We all have backgrounds in Nikolai Grishko shoes because I've for 15 years, you've worn everything.
I've worn everything.
You have a lot more experience.
I have a lot of different shoes that I've worn.
Juliana has always worn Nikolai's as well. And Elizabeth has worn, I want to say, Freed's for the most part. So she's kind of like our Freed expert when it comes to that. Because we, as Russian shoe lovers, we have no idea really how to deal with the Freed. So it's like everyone's got kind of their little expertise within the fitting too.
Sure.
So even if I end up pulling out a different shoe for her, I can ask Alaina something like, hey, is this how this was fit? Because that's what you had.
You wore that shoe.
And you wore that shoe, and is that what you liked? And so we kind of can work together when it comes
of course.
to the fitting of the shoes. So
like what tips you use for that one shoe? Like you don't fit for that shoe, you didn't do for that shoe because there was a different platform. You're like, okay, that's a little extra thing you did, or you glued one spot of the shoe.
Cool. So, Brooke, did you prepare some notes or questions or anything, like you said?
Right, I did. I have some notes. Things that, one, we didn't get to on our huge stream that we did forever ago. And I know we wanted to get to it, so I wanted to, I fangirl every time I meet you, so I have to gather my thoughts. And
so funny. It feels so surreal when people say that. I'm just like,
really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like as far as like, so there's basically like you, and then there's Josephine from California at the
oh my God, that's mad.
Who's like the YouTube point shoe queen, right? And then you're like the Instagram point shoe fairy, like in your different realms.
That's
so it's
mad.
Like, if I'm on Instagram, I always need to reference what Leanne is saying. If I'm on YouTube, I need to know what Josephine is saying.
That's crazy.
So the little like accessory stuff that I don't think we kind of really got to in our previous stream.
Of course,
My first thing, it actually has a question mark next to it because I didn't even know this existed.
Sure.
Nikolai makes tights.
Yes, I wear them actually.
How are they? What do you think of them?
We have a variety available, including convertible and seams and skin color as well, and men's tights, of course, too. Child's and adults. I really like the matte ones they do that are quite skin tone, because I don't always want to wear pink ballet tights. Sometimes I want it to blend in with my skin more. I'm very particular about tights. I really hate waistbands that are too like bulky. I like them to sit flat. Because do you know what I usually do with other brands of tights is I cut the waistband because it annoys me so much.
But I have only found one brand of tights that I actually enjoy not cutting the waistband. Everyone else, I need to cut it just because it's either too short or it's made of that plasticky material.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
A lot of them now make it where it's that knit. Sometimes if you find a nice waistband, it's not actually a nice quality tight itself, like on your skin. Yeah,
it's quite tricky finding tights, I think.
So I'm glad to hear that.
And my customers that have bought them really like them too. Also, the sizing is good. There's a good range of sizes, because obviously sometimes with tights it's like this one for adults is like a one size fits all.
right. They make colors as well, like white and black and like green.
Yes, they do the standard, like what most tights do at the moment. But yeah, I really like them. By the way, everyone watching, can you share this video with the paper aeroplane below? Click it and send it to everybody so everybody can tune in. And feel free to drop us any questions, ballet related, point shoe related, and we'll get around to them.
Okay, so my next question for you was, well, I have a few of the ribbons and the elastics and all of that. And then I wanted to ask you about the toe pads, because I actually have a suggestion for them. So, the standard, even the one that you use, that I think you call it the professional pad.
It's called the advanced pad or the pro pad, and it has no gel under the foot, because personally I don't like gel under the foot because it's too much, it's too bulky. But Grishko and Nicolai do a variety, like foam toe pads, gel toe pads, silicone. They do even the little accessories, like the little silicone dots that you can put in the platform as well.
Okay. So here's it's called the Pro Pad here in the US, I suppose. So there's the fabric that's on the bottom, right? It's just a piece of fabric.
Yeah.
Which I think would be great if Nikolai could start making. But here's my suggestion. The reason that I personally don't wear this toe pad, I wear the standard one, which is just the same front and back, is because this material, even though it's fine for the most part, it gets wrinkled under my foot.
I see.
And it can fold. So
it'd be cool if Grishko could bring one out of their own.
Yeah, but I think
I have told him this.
If they were to do it, if they could make the thin fabric on the bottom be like the stretch tech material.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab something. Hang on.
It would lay flat and it would move and stretch with the foot instead of roll and fold under. That would be my only suggestion.
Let me just show these guys. So of course, everyone knows how I like to fit. And, you know, some people just wear toe tape and whatever. Some people wear a paper towel. There are many methods of padding, and what I personally always say is, you know, work minimal and build up. But to give you an example, this is one of the Grishko gel toe pads. It's not as bulky as, say, I don't think I should name names of our brands. I don't think that's very classy. But anyways, it's like, you know, it's low cut, so it's not too bulky. Some people do like these. So it's an option. They also do foam, which is a bit thinner. And they do the more rubbery type ones. And I really like the little gel silicone, they call them mini pads, and they just sit in the platform of the shoe, but you can also use them as toe spacers, and for pressure points. Also, to anyone watching, like, listen to your feet and see where you're getting pressure, because everyone feels pressure in point shoes differently. So let me talk about I've got little toes, right, that annoy me to hella back. They are so small that they always get rubbed in a point shoe, no matter what box I've got, whatever. So personally, what I do is I just get, you know, those gel blister plasters, and I just literally tape it to my little toe to give a little bit of extra cushion.
Okay.
Or I get I've bought some Ballet Rocks alpaca wool, and it comes in different scents. She's a Nikolai retailer too, but yeah, she's in Florida also. Yeah, that's really nice stuff too. But yeah, you just got to listen to dancers watching. Just listen to your own body and see how you feel and what works for you. But don't go too bulky that you end up affecting the fit of your shoe. Because whatever you're fitted with on the day, as you guys know as well, is going to determine how that shoe fits. So if you then go away and try a different toe pad, you might make your shoe more tight, and therefore it will be too narrow, or it's just going to put pressure in areas that you don't want that pressure.
Yeah, it is. It's true. I have my favorite toe pad, which is the one that is most commonly used, and we rarely go to the silicone foam, funny rubber stuff, because here in Florida we sweat a lot.
Oh yeah, of course, God.
And the silicone, the sweat will move the toe pad around on your foot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you're not connected to the shoe anymore. You're like
yeah.
Some people like them, and that's fine.
Which just reminded me of something, actually. For you guys that are viewing that don't know, all Nicolai models can be made with Tropicana glue, which is great for humid climates. And it's very, very key to air your shoes out, no matter what country you're in. Even in England, we should be doing that.
Yes, you should.
And of course, if you're naturally more sweaty, the Tropicana glue is also a great option as well. But yeah, I can imagine that in Florida, shoes die a little bit quicker, right?
Yes. That's why we've always suggested multiple pairs, not just going harder. Not just going harder in the shoe, in the shank, but multiple pairs, because you should tell your baking story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I've done everything with my shoes to make them last longer, like baking them. I've baked them in the oven for like at 200
I've heard this trick.
I put them on a cookie sheet and just let them bake.
That's how they're made, though. In the factory.
Yeah, they go in an oven. Yeah.
Right. And then after I took them out, I just kind of molded them the right shape I wanted them to be. I I stuck them in the freezer.
Don't try this at home, guys.
Yeah, no. This is just me being ridiculous and trying everything because I want to try everything. I do not
that's funny.
But right. It did actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like for a quick fix, I sometimes shellac the box and platform of mine with French wood polish. That helps me as a little quick fix. I've personally not tried the Tropicana paste yet, but I've had other dancers that have, and they liked it.
Now that the time frame, Peter said the custom time
yeah,
frame.
oh my god, like 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So I would love to try it because if it's something that works, then we will definitely be getting every shoe with it.
Yeah, right.
Where's my next? Okay, let's do. You can chime in on this too, Alaina. The ribbons that they have and the elastic.
Oh yes, of course. There's so many.
So, let's pull them out. I only have a few because we've sold some.
Yeah, sure. So for you guys that don't know, Grishko and Nicolai do many types of ribbons and elastics, everything from canvas to cotton to traditional satin to satin with silicone on the side, stretchy full stretch ribbon. They do ribbon with the little elastic insert. If you got some there, you can show us.
I do. I have some prepackaged ones, and then some came just as their own.
Oh yes, and of course they do different colored ribbons as well. I forgot to mention this.
This is they make it. This is the. Let me get closer. This is the like invisible elastic.
Oh yeah,
here in the US. So it's still stretchy, and it's really great when you want to crisscross your elastic and get rid of the bulk on your ankle. So this is really secure. This also comes in like the standard peachy pink color.
Yeah, I love invisible. That's my top seller.
You have your favorite.
This is my favorite. Is the cotton, I believe. It's kind of
the cotton ribbon
one. I love this one so much because it's so thick. I used to wear another brand of ribbon, but they changed it and they started to get thin. And I was like, I just need something thick because I really like it. I don't like my shoes really tight, but I just like when they're that thick, it just pulls the shank to my arch, and I love it. So this ribbon has been my favorite ever since we've got our hands on them. I've loved it so much. It's
so nice to have a variety, isn't it? It's great because you know, to dancers watching, ribbon and elastic is also quite a personal choice.
It is very.
And it's very crucial that also you look at your type of foot as well. Because like, as you guys probably know, if someone's got like banana feet, sometimes the invisible elastic is a little bit too stretchy. So I opt for something a little bit thicker. And of course, different placements. You guys know all about that. In fact, I should do a video sometime about tricks with ribbons and elastics, because obviously there's some different ways that we can do it to help with different elements, right?
Method of madness for a shoe, for sure. Is there a satin ribbon that's matte that Nikolai makes? Because I'm looking for one. That's not the cotton. Not
another
the cotton.
reason why I love this one.
Yeah,
it's matte.
It's matte, which is great for stage.
They do a non-shiny satin one that's quite matte. But it's as far as I remember, it's the traditional one. I'm not sure if they do the you know, the ribbon with the little stretchy bit in the middle. That comes in quite a matte kind of look as well.
Yeah. It's not the standard satin. I haven't even opened this yet, so.
I love everything as matte as possible. I always put rosin on my shoes before going for a show or something.
Oh yes, I love rosin.
Yeah.
Hi Sophie. Hi Val, Michelle. Hi Ellie.
All right.
Share this feed. Click the paper airplane down below and share it for everybody.
I'm gonna scroll to see if I don't know if there's a Nutcracker season makes everyone panic, said your sister Rebecca. It does.
Yes.
Might have to knit something in. Christelle, hi Christelle. The best toe pad is a prayer.
By the way, you guys share this feed as well. Click your little aeroplane button and share it.
How do you hide short legs in ballet? Let me tell you the answer, because
I never saw that.
Unproportioned. I am so unproportioned, it's sad. Okay. So depending on, I have a longer torso. Like I have a 60-inch girth, which is like longer than my legs. So my legs are actually shorter than my body. And it depends also kind of like with your rib cage and stuff, where you put your skirt. If you're wearing a skirt,
Oh yeah,
really determine, because then that makes the eye either go straight down or come in and out.
yes.
I used to find the shortest skirt possible, actually, instead of the standard length ones, which would again make me look unproportioned. So if you find the shorter or like the even length skirts that go all the way around, those will actually make like an illusion to make it look like your legs are longer, because it's then shortening from your shoulder down to your hips. Does that make sense? I used to wear a short skirt and it would look so much better, like in pictures and stuff. And then also higher cut leotards. Definitely.
Oh, of course.
I can't stand them because then you have partnering and then the finger gets stuck.
Oops.
It happens.
Oh my God.
I would say if you're wearing a skirt, be cautious of where you put it on your body. It's like a fashion trick too.
And the best ones I found have been the pull-on skirts with like the high cut leg, because that just
I
really shows
know what you mean.
Like this. Okay. Let's go back to I have a question of how to measure for custom shoes. Like if you wanted to order a custom,
of course,
what everything. And I've been told, because I've ordered a few customs from Nikolai before, so I understand what their method is, but they would want everything in either millimeters or centimeters because it's in Europe. So
yes, of course. Yeah.
But I think if someone wants to lower their vamp, it's what I always do is put the model of shoe they want on them, and take a measuring tape, the fabric ones, right? And you put it on the front of the foot, down the vamp, and then you kind of like don't mark up the shoes, but
no, I know what
how
you
low
mean.
You really need to go.
That's generally what I do as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, but also
the
side quarters and the heel and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many things we can customize, which is amazing. But also, I think sometimes people get a little bit carried away. So what I would say is, if you are going to custom shoe, don't go too mad at first, because you might get it and not like it. I've done it myself. For me, I've gone like crazy, and I've got the shoe, and I'm like, oh no. So whenever I'm doing it for a customer, first of all, we want to think about, do they really need it custom? If it's nice to get to a stage where they've been wearing that shoe enough to know what they would personally like changed about it.
Right.
So it's lovely to have that option to tweak little bits. And generally speaking, the things that are common to tweak in Nicolai shoes: vamp length, vamp cut, drawstring, no drawstring, cotton drawstring, elastic drawstring, heel height, the side quarters, the wing height, the paste, the shank. Other things we can change: the platform width, you can change it a little bit, obviously not too drastic, 'cause it's made on a last.
It won't work.
colors of the satin, you can have also canvas option. You can have double upper, which is smoother satin. You can have vegan sole, of course. You can change the shank strength. You can change if you want an easy roll through or not an easy roll through. You can change how you want the shank cut. Even to the finest of details. Like, I've got a customer where I literally measure where her arch breaks, and I request that the shank is cut at that exact angle. The platform can be, made at different slants.
From where you want that 3/4 on that girl's foot, where would you measure from? Like on point?
I like to put the shoe on the foot first, put the foot on point, pull all the fabric back so I can see what's going on. And I look to see where that sweet spot is of her arch breaking. But you've obviously got to get it to that point where it's that exact angle. If you go too low, she's not going to have the support of the shoe. But if you go too high, it's not going to do its job either. So you've got to see that, you know what I mean, when you look at someone's arch and the way it breaks. If someone's got really crazy arches, you're really going to notice it. And you've got to think about where you want that to be. So of course, some dancers opt for a 3/4 shank, a half shank even. We can also add the like plush lining of Miracle inside the shoe, which I've done on a pair of Maya's before. So that's kind of fancy. We can also have like extra paste in the shoe. Have I missed anything? I've spoke about wings.
Wing height, yeah.
I've done that one. What else?
Fabric cut, platform. No, I think you got it all down to a science at this point. I feel like I'm trying to not make your live talks as redundant every time. Asking the same questions over and over.
It's hilarious. Like, it amazes me how I actually retain information, because sometimes I think, oh, maybe I should make some notes for this, and then I just swing it anyways.
Yeah, just kind of goes into autopilot.
Do you guys do a lot of customs?
Not too many.
Not too many. We have. I know 2 girls off the top of my head that we have ordered customs before.
It's quite nice to not have to do too many. I mean, at the end of the day, it's lovely when a shoe can just fit off the shelf, which is what I love about Nikolai, because there's so many shoes to suit everybody.
The 2 girls that we have ordered customs for have been super, super narrow and very compressible, because those are the feet that never, like, you have that same problem with your board. So we've ordered on the previous feed, I showed you that 0X.
Oh yeah, of course.
Stunning shoe. That was the only thing. She didn't even care about the vamp. Like, I haven't even touched that yet because she's just now getting them. And then we've also ordered for a girl named Catherine. She's tried like everything. This girl I ordered her a super hard dream point for her to try, which I didn't even know existed, super hards. I had no idea I didn't even know that was possible. We ordered her, it was a Miracle because she loved the lining of the Miracle, but we asked for a traditional 2007 shank in it. So it was a harder shank for her. And I lowered her vamp, I think 2 centimeters off the Miracle, which is already really low.
Oh, wow. What? That's mad.
Yeah, but it was amazing on her. She really likes, she doesn't need a lower vamp. She just really likes a lower vamp.
Oh, God.
Her foot is one of those crazy extended banana feet. And she just wanted a lower vamp.
So God, I'm surprised. Jesus.
She's not a growing girl. She's an adult. She's been dancing her whole life, and she was super happy to tweak a shoe. And ironically, the Miracle, being the lightest model of Nikolai shoes, lasted her the longest.
Yeah, do you know what? This is a good point to make, because often people think that if someone's stronger and very bendy, they need a harder shank, but not always, because often it snaps, as you guys have probably encountered. It's very important that the shank bends at the right part of their foot so it can be supported and take the pressure when the dance is on point. So when I fit feet like that, I often go for more flexibility in the 3/4 area or a 3/4 shank, because it does last them so much longer. Just to remind you guys that are curious about customs, in the US, they're shipping on day 15. So just 14 days for production, and on day 15 they ship. How cool is that? So you guys get much better service nowadays to what you used to get with Grishko. And of course, now you also get access to the full range of products, including the amazing DanceWEAR, and just generally better customer service. So it's a win-win all the way around.
We're very excited to bring more in, especially after this quarantine ends.
Yeah, right. It's going to be so exciting when everything reopens, because people are just going to go mad. They're going to be like buying everything. At least I think so.
Well, I would hope that everyone at home, I mean, I'm sure some of the kids are just over their old DanceWEAR at this point, because they're wearing whatever they want at home, and every once in a while you clean out your leotard drawer and just want something new. And we do our best here to have the newest styles and enough color range for everybody. Obviously we have plenty of black, but I've always, I don't know about you, Leanne, as an adult dancer, new leotards get you into class. Like,
they do.
I purposely dance. It's true.
You can
it's
dance
true.
better.
You can.
It's always great to know that you've got something new to wear, so you can go and show it off. It is like a fashion show, some of these adult classes, because everyone dresses up, you know. Also, for people watching, I don't know if you knew, but that there's fake Grishko shoes being made under the name of Grishko, and they are actually made by Sansha, believe it or not. And they are made in China. So just to make you aware of that there are still fakes being made. And unfortunately, if you come into contact with them, they will say on the back of the shoe, you know, it usually says handmade in Russia. It won't say that. It will just say handmade or something else. Whereas real Grishko Nicolai point shoes, which is Nicolai in the USA, will say Nicolai, and they will have made in Russia. That's great, Alex. Alex said about getting fit by me. Alex, I still need to make my trip to Scotland. After lockdown is over, I will be doing it. I'm not sure obviously when it's going to be until lockdown is over, but I'm definitely going to do it because there's so many people in Scotland that need me. So I'm just going to go and get an Airbnb and set up for a few days and just invite people over for fittings, because there's quite a lot up there that seem to be messaging me that are struggling.
I can't imagine what some people are doing who aren't close to a store, and I mean, and unlimited styles.
The problem like we have in England or the UK in general is the fact that we also have, unfortunately, fitters that are a bit stuck in the dark ages, and they literally just see you for 15 minutes, whack a pair of shoes on you, and they're like, yeah, they're great. And the dancer, they won't communicate with the dancer at all. And whenever I travel anywhere, even in the UK, I just pop into different dance stores. Well, unless they recognise me, then that's obviously a bit awkward. But but I like to get fitted by other people to see what happens.
I don't think that they should see that as a problem. I think we should all work together.
Yes,
I agree. I agree.
There's no need to be in competition with each other when you're all doing.
Everyone has their own style at the end of the day, and their own market. But also, like, I want to take time to educate people in the UK in stores as well about different models to stock, because over here it's pretty poor. Like, most of them are just stocking 1 or 2 models, and usually medium shank, and it just puts people off the brand because they just think, oh well, that's what Grishko or Nicolai are about, you know. And we don't want any of that. We want people to realize that there is actually shoes for everybody.
That's the one complaint that a lot of schools here have made is there are some schools, I think I said this before, there were schools that are not allowed to have Grishkos because they're too hard, and it's like face palm. So we do our best to reach out and explain. As once you explain that to everyone, it's just they're like, oh, all right, like we're just trying to follow the rules and be polite, and so we would love to continue to spread that word of.
Someone's just asked.
There's not just an 07 model. There's way more.
Exactly right. Gosh. What shoes do you recommend for beginners? So, do you know what? There is no magical shoe for beginners. Obviously, there are shoes like Novice 2007 that is like more of a beginner model of the 2007, for example, which is a great shoe. But we really should, a fitter will analyze your foot, your technique, your strength, blah, 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 and then try different shoes on you and different shank strengths, because there's not just one perfect model for all beginners. I think you agree with that, right?
And also, you can be a 10-year-old beginner, and you can be a 35-year-old beginner.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what. It's whatever foot you have is supposed to match the shoe. Yeah. Right.
And also,
you want to match those two shapes up as close as possible.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into
it. Work.
Exactly. And Grishko and Nicolai do have a 3-step program, The Dream, which is basically wearing Demi points first, which I'm a big advocate for. I love Demi points. They make a big difference. I know not many schools wear them in the US or in the UK, but I'm getting more and more schools around to getting back to using those, and they're seeing amazing results. So the process with our little kind of program, as it were, is to wear the Demi points. then the dancer would transition. If they're not quite ready for a proper pointe, you go to the Alice model, which is also built in 2007, but it's a lot flexible and it's just for bar use. And then we would opt for novice 2007. Do you have it there?
We have the novice and we have the Alice. So
Oh, perfect. Here you go. You can be the one who shows tonight, because I'm in my bedroom. So, I can't be bothered to go to a fitting room.
Novice, I think even the novice can be used, because the novice is the third and final step.
Yeah, so that one's for center work as well, whereas the Alice isn't.
It's actually like, it's a pointe shoe. Like, you can actually do stuff in this
yes,
shoe.
Of course. Yeah,
and
novice
I
you
think
can.
You can put it in your regular stock of pointe shoes as well.
I sometimes put adults in it if they're not heavy dancers, you know. If they've got flat feet and they're struggling, and novice 2007 has been a great one for that. But yeah, the Alice is very, very soft. That's only for bar use. It's not like a center shoe. It's majorly bendy.
It's like what you hope a Pro Flex would be. The Alice. Sometimes. So, because I like the wider platform, I like that it's softer onto the foot.
Yeah, it's like a half box construction, they call it. So the it's not too scary on younger dancers' feet who, you know, the whole idea of the dream process was to get dancers that are young used to the feelings of being in a pointe shoe, because as we know, it's quite scary sometimes when you're like quite a dainty dancer with very soft feet, very sensitive skin, for example, and you get thrown into, say, a really hard pointe shoe for your first pair. That is incredibly overwhelming.
That's the fear, and that's the pain, and that's why they not want to go to they quit class sometimes because of it.
Exactly. It's really sad.
Yeah. There's a school literally next door to here, to our store. We hear all their music all the time. It's so nice.
Oh.
She is a huge advocate for Demi points. She actually has kind of two levels at this point for Demi points.
Oh, excellent.
There's the girls, and they're all really little too. So she put them in the true soft blocks. I think you guys call them in England the soft blocks.
Yeah. We call them soft blocks, Demi points, or 3 points.
They're really not meant to even bear weight. You're really not.
No. Only one foot can go on pointe at a time, but not proper on pointe. You know what I mean?
It's not even really shaped well either. But so that's kind of her first level. And then we got these in, and she came over and she was like, oh my gosh, I've been
so much better, right?
So then she moves the kids up from the soft blocks into the novice, and then they go into the pointe class after that.
Oh, I get you. So
that's kind of like
nice.
a 3-step thing.
Yeah.
Great, because they actually are able to bear weight up on the shoe.
It's a proper pointe shoe.
It's a proper pointe shoe, but it's still really, really
it's not scary.
It's not. Yeah. So I think it's a
lovely transition shoe. It really is.
So like, I probably won't really need the Alice, because we do have the soft blocks as well. But it depends really. I think the novice has been a huge.
I sell a lot of them.
It's been a hit. Yeah, it's been a hit for sure. So they're wonderful. I love.
Any other questions, guys? Pop them in, and feel free to share this feed with everybody. Press the little aeroplane button down below. Someone has said, my dance studio doesn't do Demi points. Is it possible to use them at home? I would speak to your teacher and just explain why they're good. Show them a video. You could show my YouTube video on them, for example, because there's nothing wrong. You can use them at the bar to start with, and then you can wear them in center like a normal ballet slipper, because it's got added resistance. So it's going to make you work harder, but also increase your balance as well. So speak to your teacher about it, because there shouldn't be a problem. For example, in London, in open classes, some people wear them for the whole class. Nobody batters an eyelid. Even we have, like in RAD, for example, you have to wear them into foundation exam, I do believe.
For example,
So Sienna said, where can she get measured for Demi points? Well, Sienna, I remember your mum speaking to me about this. You can go to your nearest Nicolai retailer to get measured for them, or you can drop, because I know you're part of NG Generation, so they might send you a pair for free, to be honest, because you know you get a selection of shoes every year sent to you. So maybe mention it to them, and maybe they'll help you out with that as well, because I know that you get sent shoes every year. So
Oh, I have like a bunch of questions that people asked in order to prepare for this stream. So looking at my notes
By the
here.
way, Brooke, have
Yeah.
you shared this video by clicking the little paper aeroplane?
I'm afraid that it's going to take me off the stream.
Oh no, it won't. It will pop
It
up
won't?
with a little.
Okay.
No. It'll pop up with a thing, and you can pick, like, choose who you want to send it to.
Oh, okay. Oh man, that's a long scroll. I'll have to.
I know.
It'll just.
I
be
just
my
do
face
loads of
looking at the
randoms.
camera this whole time.
What other questions?
I
How
think
do you
you know-
buy? How do you buy pointers when you have no money? Well, explain to your parents. If you're a child, explain to your parents your love for ballet. Make sure you're ready for pointers. Make sure your teacher has given you the approval. But you really, ballet, unfortunately, is not a cheap hobby, which is,
No.
it is sad because there are people out there that do struggle with the finances, and I totally understand it's not cheap at all, especially when you do point work, because obviously you can go through shoes quicker. But if it's something you have such a serious passion for, then try to put that across to your parents,
Yeah.
and see where you go from there.
And
Hi,
sometimes
Georgia.
we have to do some convincing to the parents as well when it comes to point shoes and just dancewear in general. Sometimes I understand wanting to save as much money and be frugal if you can, and which is great. You don't have to buy the most expensive leotard in the store that doesn't make you a good dancer, but to a point you need quality, proper equipment.
You do.
For what you do. Hockey players
Absolutely.
need it, football players need it, soccer players need it.
None of
tennis
this
players, you still need
buying off
proper-
websites
Don't buy
and
them off
guessing.
Amazon.
No, absolutely
Don't
not.
buy them off Wish. Don't do that. If you're doing
Georgia,
it
yes, definitely. We should do that, Georgia. I never used to really do virtual fittings, but I've been doing quite a lot recently, and
Have you?
I've been managing. It's not the same as real fittings. I tell them that. I say, look, if you can wait till after lockdown and come and see me, please do it. But
I really don't. Unless you have a proper floor, and I mean an actual proper floor in a bar, I'm not really recommending point at home right now. I'm really.
be careful, guys, because
really,
it is dodgy.
I don't know. I'd rather just go back to do your bar, do as much as you can.
Pilates.
Don't just walk around on your carpet with your
No,
shoes
don't,
on.
definitely not on carpet. I
Don't
always
do
tell
that.
when I fit dancers and they say that they want to like break their shoes in at home or whatever, I say, well, just do these little exercises, nothing else, and don't do it on carpet for Christ's sakes, or any slippery tile or anything else.
Doing it at home.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
We've had a girl come in. How long did you spend with her?
Hours, like 3 hours. 3 hours. We were just fixing whatever we could just to find the proper shoe for her, because I just put as much time as I can into these fittings just so we have, when they walk out of the door, they have a good shoe. They have a good shoe for their foot.
Right.
So, yeah, I told her just to definitely don't go on carpet. If you have any kind of Marley, I believe she did have some Marley.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, okay, please stay on the Marley.
Yeah.
And if you have to do wood, please don't do wood. But if you have to, make sure you have something to hold on to properly, and use any kind of rods and stuff. But if you can't, just please don't do anything.
Exactly.
There's
It's
no
very
need.
dangerous.
There's no need to get injured during this time.
A lot of us in the UK have been buying flooring because we've been desperate, and Georgia did the same as me. She got some Harlequin floor.
Yeah.
So I've got some of the grey Cascade, which they use at Royal Ballet and English National Ballet. Obviously, it's not sprung, so guys, it's not great for jumps, but it's good for grip.
Yeah. You can put it on a flat surface that's smooth.
Exactly.
Don't jump. But
at least it's something, right? So if you guys really must do ballet at home, just don't do anything you're not used to doing. Don't go crazy. Play it safe. And you know the drill.
My mom just fitted a bar in my room. Oh, in a Harlequin.
Yeah, that's Grishko girl Georgia.
Good.
She's part of NG Generation as well, and I met her not last year, year before, I think it was. But yeah, I'm desperate to fit her again, but she lives in Scotland. Like, my Scotland trip didn't work out lately, so I'm trying to rearrange it after lockdown. There's so much travel plans that got cancelled for me that now I'm just got to wait till lockdown's over.
even know when that's going to be.
No.
Exactly.
Okay, a girl had asked, how do I know, it's a question we get a lot in fittings, especially with the new girls. How do I know when my shoes are dead?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's not an easy, there's no easy answer really to it, except obviously when they can't do stuff anymore. And that's even before that. And I always say, before that happens, please come back, because I need to see something. I'd rather prevent further problems and further injury dancing on a dead shoe instead of you coming back to me and you've got your ankle wrapped up because
Oh God. Yeah.
And it happens. So everyone has a different, everyone feels different in their shoes. I feel different. Everyone's dead shoe is different.
It is very true.
And just because here, and they hand me a pair of shoes, are these dead? And you're like, are they dead to you?
Yeah, sometimes I feel someone's shoe and it feels great to me, but then it depends on how they like to feel and what suits them, you know. It's very,
I don't know, some people love really dead shoes. Like, I know you love a dead shoe.
I love dead shoes.
And I look and I'll put them in my hand and I go, how are you doing this?
Yeah, I know, it's mad. So it is very personal as well.
Everyone's dead shoe is different, but it's when you really start to struggle to do the normal things you always do in class.
Absolutely.
And it takes extra effort, and you will eventually start to knuckle. So when you start to kind of do the ugly, like,
so
crazy
CBO Technique said, can you explain how the box or platform feels when it's dead? That's the part that goes for me first, usually. So for me personally, what it feels like is literally like my toes are on the ground and they're grating on the floor. I feel more movement. So when I transition from flat to point, I feel a shift of my weight going more downwards, like a sinking. Not like a true sinking, it's just like a little bit. I also feel that the box doesn't wrap and the wings don't wrap around my foot very firm anymore. So it literally feels like I'm sitting in my point shoes. It literally feels like the shoe does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm in a Demi point.
You can get, you said your platform goes, does it get squishy? Like, can you like,
I don't get that crazy, but I've had customers that do, and it's mad. Oh my God. Yeah. It's insane.
I mean, it's not, I'm a shank killer before a box killer because I glue my box like right away. Because I love a hard box and like nothing else. That's really all you essentially need is like just something right there at the end of your toes, and you still need to hold yourself up. But you'll get, and it's happened before when girls say, my toe really hurts, and then I'll push on their platform and there's like a hole.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In the paper, like in it all, and I'm like,
whoa.
How are you doing this? Or they've literally like worn the platform away.
Yeah.
Where it's just like rounded and
completely
soft.
I know what you mean.
Like, I'm falling out of my pirouettes, and I'm like, well, yeah, you have nothing else to stand on. So, you know, jet glue solves it, yes, but you also need to make sure when you are jet gluing that you're jet gluing back into a shape that you need. Because if you've got it's not really good to glue a super, super dead shoe.
No, it's past it.
It's past its life. It's done. It's dead. Like, it's put it in its grave. It's dead. It's past. It's past revitalization. But when you do it, you still need to. This is what we've done here. We'll put the glue in, and then I'll like slam the box platform on the floor to flatten it back out. And I'll hammer it a little bit and reshape the box, because then the glue will harden into the shape that you need.
And it's also important to dry them standing up as well, because if you lay it down, then it starts to run.
It starts to, so if your platform is going, definitely air them out as well, and then glue them. You glue them back into that nice flat actual platform that they've made for you to stand on. So
Georgia says, she says, I don't know why this is, but around my metatarsals, my feet, I'd say, are quite wide, but in some of my shoes, I tend to sink in them after a while. I'm not sure why. So it can be because sometimes the width that you get fitted with on the day, your feet are more swollen. It can also be because feet do change in seasons. But also, you could be compressible, like me. But also, what happens is, obviously, your shoes widen as they break down. So it creates more room in the shoe. So that means there's more space in there to play with. So after time, when the pace starts to erode, you start to move down the shoe more. We can try size change inlays, we can try box liners, we can play around with padding, but also what I'd recommend is, because you are young and your feet are still changing, obviously wait till you get refitted as well, because you might find that your size and width might have changed in the shoe, or we might find that there are other models that we like. Because when I fitted Georgia, it was at Move It Dance Convention, and unfortunately we didn't have all the models there because it wasn't my stock, it was the European Distribution Centre's stock. So I just worked with what I had, and like if it was my own stock, obviously I would have fitted her in many models. So that's why I'm excited to get the opportunity to try her in more, because obviously I know there's others that will work as well.
Right. I think also, if she says she's really wide in her metatarsals, how high is her wing? Because sometimes if you're not getting enough support on the wing, it's something you can change. She's
in Super Triumph Pre-Arch, and they're a really high wing shoe to start with. It wasn't so much that, but obviously I've not seen her in like 2 years, so much could have changed in that time.
We've had girls that have had shoes for that long, and then they
I know, tell me about it. I've had people come to me that have had like the same pair for like a few years. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, how are you doing? Like, I'm doing it. I mean, it's the kids that are not in them daily, but still. And I'm like, how have you not grown in 2 years? Like, what happened?
It's like, so Lily Grace says she has super narrow feet and super tapered toes. Is there anything that would help? She sinks in her shoes so much. Well, if you're sinking that bad, you know, you need to go and get yourself a fitter that can help you analyze why that's happening. And if this, do you know what I would say, right, is if these are quite new shoes and you're not happy with the fit, either go and see that fitter again or find another fitter, because not to be rude, but not all fitters are wonderful. So experiment, go and shop around, try different fitters, find one that you are satisfied with, and explain what you're feeling. Find someone who communicates with you, not someone who just thinks that you know, they know best. You know, you've got to communicate with the fitter.
And it's not always about going to the appointment and needing to buy a shoe that day.
Yeah,
sometimes there are appointments that you literally just need to go in and try everything on.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily have to buy a shoe that day.
No.
But it's the experience that you get at the fitting and the variety that you should get from the fitter. Even if it's not correct, try it on and know for yourself why that doesn't work. So, and it's something that I love to do, is bring out like wrong shoes during a fit.
It's funny, isn't it? Because then you can teach people more about how it should fit. Yeah, right. It's important. How does one become a Grishko girl? So the NG generation combines both Grishko and Nicolai, and we do a yearly search. You have to follow their Instagram, NG generation, because they will announce it on there when they're going to do the new search. It's generally around September time, and they will have an application process. We have to fill in a form, send pictures, video, then they'll have a second step and a third step usually. It's quite a process, but obviously that's the fun of it, because we can get, you know, see what they're looking for that year. But we take all different ages, and boys as well, of course. So just keep an eye on the Instagram.
I have a picture. I have to see if I can show it to you on here. It's something that doesn't happen all the time, and I'm wondering if you've ever had, and I think I don't know if it's due to a fit or a width or something, or if this just happens. Has anyone ever, this is like to everyone.
Yeah. When
you've got a worn-in shoe and you've got a shoe on, and then there's an outside fold that starts to happen on the outer sole. I have a picture. I found a picture of it. I don't know if you'll be able to see.
Hang on.
No, the ring light's in the way.
Oh yeah. So do you
see what I mean?
Do you mean are you on about the shank fold or the satin fold?
Both, because it's kind of happening.
That is a Proflex shank, and what I've found is sometimes Proflex is too bendy for people, like it is for that dancer. So it's breaking too low. The shank is breaking far too low on her foot. So I wouldn't have put her in a Proflex shank at all, personally. So I don't know, like, you know, I've had to actually sort a few American girls out that are thrown in Proflex. I don't know why people keep getting thrown into it in America. It's very common.
It makes me mad.
But they've got to stop it, because you know what, even these girls will be fine in, say, the super soft or soft, depending what, you know, I'm talking about, because in the ProFlex shanks, usually those shanks are from the family of shanks that go super soft, soft, medium hard, super hard, super, super hard. And even the super soft is still as flexible as a ProFlex. But of course, it has a bit more strength under the metatarsal, but it also means it's going to break properly into their arch. Of course, ProFlex serves a purpose, and it does work great on many feet. But if your foot is too strong for it, this is what's going to happen, where it bends too low, and we end up with knuckling and all sorts of other problems with it.
And this is where the 3007, I think, comes in that lower area, in that Demi point, where a lot of people, especially myself and the NG generation girl Sarah, is what was needed. Because when that's happening to a shoe, it means you actually need something there to bend a little more, because it's actually compressing down, and it's just finding a point where it's
it's so crucial to get that shank to be sucking in that right area. This is another video on my list to do, because I really want to help people with that, because I'm seeing too many people get thrown into ProFlex, even in the UK, and it drives me mad. It really winds me up. This feed's going to stop in a minute, but we'll reboot it in a second.
Okay.
Because, you know, it only does the hour thing. Georgia says, have you got any exercises for rolling in? She rolls in even when her feet are in parallel and relaxed. But when she's turned out, it's worse, and she doesn't realise she's doing it. Well, first of all, what does your teacher say about it? Secondly, my left foot used to do this a lot, because on my left foot, I have a bit of a fallen arch. So when I was younger, I used to have to go to the podiatrist and get special inserts made for my shoes to keep my arches up. And I also had to do exercises for my arches, because my arches were obviously weak. And so were my metatarsals, which comes with compressible feet, unfortunately. So there are many reasons for it, but generally speaking, it's to do with alignment and controlling the arch. And in your everyday shoes, you need to make sure that your everyday shoes are supportive, not just your trainers or whatever. So I would say seek a medical opinion as well, definitely.
Alex said ProFlex felt like dancing in shoes made of jam.
It's true.
They're only meant to last a day or two, so
they are like a performance shank. Even in
the
saying that though, the ProFlex in Flutte is harder. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, because it's layered different. But the ProFlex, even in hard, in say 3007, is still very, very bendy. This is going to end in 1 minute 23. So you guys that are watching, we're going to reboot this in a second, so come and join us again. And I'm going to have to take a call for a couple of minutes, so we'll end this, have a 5-minute break, and we'll come back. And I hope all you guys watching will come back too, because obviously we've got all the doodles to talk about. And don't forget, whilst we're on the break, you can go and follow the DanceWEAR shop on the Instagram and other social media. And I'll be back with you guys in a moment. Okay. Bye. Yep.